I'm glad you're back because this video deals with how investors capture a share of what is called the Pioneer Cloud. To qualify to own a slice of the Pioneer Cloud, you have to combine 5 rare factors. First, obtain the most valuable IP. Second, design marketing to dominate competition. Third, know what fans need and then design it into what they want. Fourth, present the ultimate vertical business model, favoring investors. And fifth, whatever my studio offers you investors, it must turn your brand into pure gold. The Sustained Global Disruption Advantage presents the ultimate strategy using these 5 things I mentioned before. Be first, name it. Give competition a moving target. Then give them 2 targets. Nobody will see it coming. You'll dominate a sector because they never imagined it until you claimed it. In 2022, Pioneer Cloud was valued at $1.4 trillion. Global titans expect it to deliver a new era of commerce, technology, and branding, just like the first internet boom created PayPal, eBay, Cisco, Microsoft, Oracle, Nintendo, Amazon, Sega, Electronic Arts, Atari, and PlayStation. You'll create financial history like they did. Each of these companies that moved first dominate their markets now and are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. PricewaterhouseCoopers estimates entertainment media will almost double to surpass $3.4 trillion due largely to the merging of the tech and visual medias that would make it into Pioneer Cloud. We are the only source offering all of the big 5 prerequisites I just explained. The only company in the world that spent over a decade acquiring the highest value products and innovating the new fan engagement platform for this very moment in our evolution in technology. This means that we'll be sprinting out of the starting blocks before competition even knows that a race has begun. The first investors to capture a specific slice of the Pioneer Cloud pie will become the next Epic Games, OnlyFans, Roblox, or social media platform we've seen emerge just in the last 6 years. Experts on the future of commerce call this creator and fandom economics and expect this slice alone to be $500 billion by 2027. This is an open market, and because advertising in a tangent category will skyrocket to $1 trillion by 2026, and in our formula, advertising is under our umbrella. Advertising on your own metaverse and social media platform prevents advertising fraud that is running rampant. Erase ad fraud in marketing films and you can produce winners like these films again. In 2022, I did a PR campaign giving a first look at my future plans, and The Hollywood Reporter put my film and tech example on the same page as the next billion-dollar deal makers in Hollywood. Now I'm going to show you what a dominating player in the Pioneer Cloud can deliver. Then I'm going to explain the prerequisites of the business model that turned these ingredients into a finished formula. Eyeballs, spirit, scale, minutes of eyeball time, IP, vision, meaning, and deliver more eyeball time per person, and you've captured your slice of the pie. The future empires come down to how long you can hold the attention of eyeballs and how deeply you reward them for their spirit of engagement. Both must be delivered on a higher level than legacy media giants today can deliver. If you fully understand Maxwell's demon, you know the energy from the eyeballs have the power to sculpt the investor brand and the fan base brand. So what do you sculpt? A form that creates the greatest amount of spirit from fans. What thrills them? Think of it like a gear that turns another gear in the same way dark energy shapes our universe. Only in this case, we visualize what I call the physics of money on this chart. You must have this level of spirit because it is the most organic way to deliver scale, the next gear in the dynamic. Scale expands the viral praise and demand for what your investment offers. It ends up on a level so massive it dominates all competition. Your slice of the pie translates to billions in profits that can't be overthrown. GameStop proved this, and they proved it could beat Wall Street at its own game. It beat every gambler, and it beat all the hype competitors had combined against them. Spirit comes from any engagement with humans that is so rewarding it shapes lifestyles. Here are some examples of spirit. Look at these words, and what do they all have in common? They all require that you are present. You are in that moment, and being in that moment is a terrific high. You're excelling, and by damn, that's something our fans can be proud of. In your case, spirit nurtures what gives a person meaning. The longer we sustain spirit, we expand explosively in scale. Your brand buys one mini major studio, and a chain reaction begins. Your investment gives the fans something to believe in, themselves for once. This new alpha generation is starving for an experience on this level from a company devoted to preserving what makes them human and feel special. The new era of eyeball engagement on this level is already predicted by global finance advisors like McCormick. The content creator and fan dynamic alone is expected to reach $500 billion annually, and whoever innovates best gets a dominating share of it. A new model of fan engagement will rise like a phoenix out of the ashes of Hollywood. We are not the first in line, we are the only ones in line. Competition for us is old school and maxing out for a reason. They insisted that convenience was more important than quality and story to fans like you and investment companies like yours. There are series on streaming that stay there that have less than 100 fans. Compare them to the brand examples of golden television. The fact is, people got excited to get up Sunday to watch Game of Thrones on HBO at 9, or they watched 24 on Fox at 8. Each of these series was worth changing their lifestyle for. They built connection between people that also watched, while streaming does the opposite. It encourages isolation and dissolves your highest expectations of the art of filmmaking and the power of story. To be a player in this game, you buy a small film studio that has the movies, the next-gen tech, and pioneer cloud marketing under one umbrella. So you ask, what does a studio do? What does it need? And what must it control? The three greatest challenges any legacy studio faces are A, acquiring the best screenplays, B, signing A-list actors to star in it and directors to direct them, and C, being guaranteed the best possible distribution dates and partners in theaters. Owning the scripts already immediately lets the investor know what his money buys, how much it costs to produce, how to plan for maximizing revenue streams, and how to improve their brand with repeated announcements for the new shareholders and revenue streams. Never before in Hollywood history has a mini major launched owning the screenplays it needs to produce from the very beginning. That's why they couldn't launch an IPO or even know how it feeds their brand and pleases their stockholders. This seemed ridiculous to me, so I changed it all. How about problem number 2, signing those A-list actors and directors? Event Horizon Studio was designed to save the art of filmmaking. So we win actors over with this goal, but we give actors even more. On top of giving them Academy and Emmy material better than anything they've seen in a decade, we give them a share of gross revenue from all revenue streams. Next, we guarantee the 12-week theatrical window with theaters. This is something they had from the 70s to the 2020s, and they need it back. So do the actors. It presents them bigger than life and on the big screen, and that is how they become so famous their films define the art form. If they go straight to streaming, they'll never reach the pinnacle they deserve. With these 4 guarantees, we'll get every A-list actor we want because Event Horizon Studios will be the only studio honoring the 12-week theatrical window, making it the #1 favorite for theaters. When it comes to television series, we're going to put a lot of them back on network and cable channels, where they earn tens of millions in advertising and products that actually finds their way back into the pocket of investors. Glee earned $120 million in advertising, $100 million in music, and $105 million in merchandise, and this could never be earned on streaming platforms. This means we'll get any time slot we want, any showrunner we want, and all the talent we need because they get paid residuals. With residuals, a series becomes immortal. It goes to syndication. What's 5-year syndication worth to the investor? Seinfeld, $11 billion. Reese Witherspoon, $8 billion. Friends, $7 billion. Sex and the City, The Walking Dead, and Breaking Bad were so valuable they had to be sold in pieces, but surely in total, each of them would have been worth over $15 billion. The investor would reap that. So I'm going to say this again. Walking Dead and Breaking Bad were so valuable, they had to be sold in pieces, but surely in total worth over $15 billion. Depending on the study, it is estimated that over 23% of subscribers to the top streaming platforms shun all the new material and they subscribe only to watch television that aired on networks from the 80s to 2010. And there is a reason for that. Quality. Sitcoms were funnier. They had more comedy writers per episode. They filmed it with better cinematography. Dramas like 90210 shaped the youth in society, and the alpha generation is craving this high-quality production with traditional storylines and characters because it nurtures their own success in life. We give fans back the spirit and scale they dream of. Here are the famous actors that could make tens of millions of dollars by marketing their personal brands, and all of these will be on our metaverse. Now comes the technology breakthroughs that add revenue streams worth billions. Before the current edge technology explosion, movies and series only had merchandise, music, and tie-ins. Duck Dynasty made $800 million a year. South Park, $400 million a year. Now, add to that, we have apps, games, metaverses, crossovers, and avatars that can generate hundreds of millions of dollars. And instead of going to Silicon Valley, it goes to the investors and actors. How will the process work? It starts the same way any super hot scripts worked in Hollywood, with what we called bidding wars. Only now, it's including the new type of bidding, like what happened for Mr. Beast, that got $1 billion tie-in deal and was rumored to be worth $5 billion to Disney. But they haven't even signed a deal yet. It's just building up to even more billions of dollars. Every mini major studio we offer has more than that much potential because we have the ultimate business model. All you have to be is the highest bidder for a mini major studio designed for an IPO. Yes, it's a huge investment, but most of it is in escrow while the IPO is forming. From bidding to IPO can take as little as 4 months. And these are some of the highest value films your technology revenue streams have under their umbrella. From that, they only have to spend $50 to $100 million to sign the actors, the directors, and the producers. Now that you know what you're producing, who's starring in it, the publicity will increase the value of your stock more than it costs to produce the films. That's how you as an investor get a multi-billion-dollar slice of the Pioneer Cloud. Build upon it right and your mini major can evolve into the next Epic Games or Lionsgate. There will only be 10 mini majors, 10 chances for your company to own the brand that saved Hollywood and kept us human. And that's better than pure gold. It's like owning the gold mine. In this video, I wore shirts that I gave to my brother that I bought in Thailand from Jim Thompson and in Vietnam from Kai Silk when I was there helping orphans. But there is something that makes these shirts extra special. I bought them for my brother to wear. We were the same size then. I framed his favorite pictures here when he was on the top of the world in 1980 when we were catering rock and roll bands like Fleetwood Mac and Pink Floyd. And he was only 21. Look at him. He'd already worked his ass off that day, then settle down, and he would read these comic books for the 100th time, and it was really an iconic era.